Detroit test drive in the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee. Going for a ride with one of my favorite Detroiters, Mr. John George of Motor City Blight Busters. This is the limited edition. This car is nice, man. This has got the 6-cylinder. It's a 3.2 liter. It's got the dual panoramic sunroof, which is excellent, so the people in the back seat get to have some sun shining on their head, just like the people in the front seat. The technology is cool. It's got the U-Connect that's fully functional. What I think makes this engine particularly sweet is it's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. This is the limited edition. It's got leather, and the seats are really nice and soft, and the leather is really smooth. It's got some really cool little hidden compartments in the actual seat, so you can like lift up the bottom of your seat and you can stuff stuff in there and hide it. Lots of space. The back seat's kind of split 60-40, so you can throw your skis in there and do what you need to do, which is nice. It comes in both front-wheel drive or 4x4. This is the front-wheel drive model. Gas mileage is decent, around 25. Again, it's got the 6-cylinder. The 4-cylinder goes up closer to 30 miles per gallon on average, which is, you know, pretty darn good gas mileage, especially when gas is $3.50 a gallon. So all in all, this thing's got plenty of room. It's versatile. It's got those really, really cool headlights. Actually, they're not even headlights. They're just kind of front fascia lights. Some people can't stand them, so it's interesting. Which one are you? Do you like them or not? I want you to tell me. You can post it right there in the comments. I think you should take a look at this, and if you'd like, through Click Car, we'd bring you this car just for a little test drive. So, Jeep Cherokee 2014, part of the Real Detroit Test Drive, coming up soon. Mr. John George, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. It's Terry Bean sitting here with John George from Motor City Blight Busters, world famous Motor City Blight Busters. We're on the Real Detroit Test Drive. We're going to drive through and take a look at some of the excellent work that John and the Blight Busters and concerned citizens all over the Detroit area have taken part in to make this part of Detroit a much better place. John George, thanks for joining us today.
Terry, you know, it's always a pleasure. When you call, my ears always perk up because you know of our work in this area. You've actually helped us with many of these projects. As you know, Farm City Detroit, which is our garden program in conjunction with Fertile Ground, operates from these 2 city lots. Notice just to your left, as we head east, we've cleared all of that negative energy off this block. Our goal, of course, is to not only stabilize and revitalize Detroit, but create opportunity and hope. And Farm City Detroit is just that. 2.5 blocks of fresh fruits and vegetables that will be grown and given away to folks in the community. If you look to our immediate right, you'll notice a 9-unit apartment building that we purchased. We're in the process of gutting and restoring that. Our returning veterans will be coming there sometime next year. They'll be living at the Veterans Village Detroit and working at Farm City, hanging out at the Java House and getting resources from our community center. Over the years, you have helped us remove a lot of that negative energy, a community liability, and now it's being transformed into a community asset. Volunteers are coming in from across the country. We're working with folks from Quicken Loan, Rock Financial, Starbucks, Comcast, Comerica, Carhartt, and others as we continue to bring folks together and rebuild Detroit. We're now heading west on Santa Clara. If you look to your right, you'll notice approximately 13 houses. Of these 13 houses, there are only 3 that are occupied. The others are going to be dismantled this year, or the ones that can be saved will be restored. This is going to be the next phase of the Farm City Detroit blight removal process. We've been working through the winter months, believe it or not, rain or shine, to continue this effort to get this negative energy from our community. If you look to your immediate right, you'll see a house up on stilts. As you know what's next.
I know what it looks at.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we'll be out here Saturday with a fresh crew and a fresh dumpster, and we're going to get ready to drop this particular house. Blight is a form of child abuse. To allow a child to grow up in and around that negative energy is just not the kind of thing we can support. We're also have cleaned out this structure and secured it. We're going to be renovating this property, and this is going to be the clubhouse for the children of Artist Village and Blight Busters. They will have their own volunteer community center where we'll have computers. We'll teach them about healthy eating, and volunteering and mentoring. There'll be so many positive things that our youth are going to be subjected to here at Farm City. There were 9 abandoned houses in a row when we started just a couple years ago.
Yes, sir.
And as you can see, they've all been removed. All that negative energy is now gone. And if you look to the immediate left, you'll see Farm City Detroit logo that's rising from the ashes. Chaz will be back in the spring to complete this mural, complete the logo, and of course, working with Kofi, we'll be expanding our community garden from 2 lots to 2 city blocks.
I remember walking through here 2 years ago, you and I walking in between all of those houses, taking a look at them, and you saying, yep, these are all going to go. These got to go. They're going to be down. We're going to tear them. We're going to build a garden.
We're so excited about 2014. We've been working with Don Graves from the White House, along with David DeWorkin, who's Mr. Graves' assistant. President Obama, as you and others know, have sent a crew from Washington to Detroit to see how Washington can fully interact and incorporate some of those federal dollars to be more effective. Don not only has been to the Java House and has visited us at least a half a dozen times, he also brought the HUD secretary in, and we were able to show him what we're doing in the Old Redford and Brightmoor communities, as well as our work with our partners in Rosedale Park and Grandmont. Kevin Orr, our emergency financial manager, said it best when he said the monies that Detroit has should be spent on blight removal and police and fire. Clean and safe. If a city is clean and safe, what's going to happen? First off, the folks that live here are going to stay because it's a clean and safe city. And guess what else? Because Detroit has the most available, least expensive housing stock in the country, people are going to start coming back and taking advantage of that. We're already seeing that in downtown and midtown. We also want to see that in the Old Redford, Brightmoor, Grandmont, Rosedale neighborhoods. I really believe that Detroit is on the front porch of the greatest urban comeback story in this nation's history. When we learn to work together, put our petty differences aside and focus, we can create affordable housing, we can build community centers and parks and coffee shops and jazz clubs, we can create homeowners and business owners, and we can show our children that there's a better way forward. About 13 years ago, Alicia, who owns the coffee shop, and myself met a gentleman named Chaz Miller. And when we met Chaz, he said that he wanted to teach kids and paint murals. And that really struck us as we were working to fight blight, because we know that children need to be exposed to positive things. So, of course, immediately we latched on to Chaz, and his vision became our vision. You know, Alicia wanted a coffee shop. Chaz wanted an art studio. And Blight Busters has a bad habit of getting a hold of dusty old buildings and cleaning them out and breathing new life into them. So when the smoke cleared, we had Artist Village Detroit, where we have the jazz club and the coffee shop and the art gallery and the cafe and the clothing store and and the apartments that we've restored. So the village has really been a team effort to take that negative energy again out of the business district and create ownership. We've done the same thing at the Resource Center, where we took the largest vacant commercial building in the neighborhood, turned it into a community center. To your right, you'll notice Myers coming soon. We've been working with the Myers Corporation on and off for the last 5 years. We convinced them through our partnership with Lormax Stern, which is the developer for this site, to purchase the old Redford High School, about 1 million square feet of blight, and remove it. This spring, summer, they're going to break ground on a 200,000 square foot, $33 million Myers, right in the heart of Northwest Detroit. It's going to bring jobs, tax base, and of course access to fresh fruits and vegetables and the things that our neighbors need. You know, in Detroit, we've got a lot of liquor stores and party stores, gas stations, convenience stores, but not a whole lot of supermarkets. So with Farm City Detroit and Myers, we'll be able to provide at little or no cost, especially at the farm way, because we give away everything there, fresh fruits and vegetables to our children, to our seniors, to our youth. We're excited about 2014 here in the city of Detroit. You know, if you read the paper, if you watch TV, if you listen to the radio, blight is on everybody's radar. It's not my junk. It wasn't my abandoned house. It wasn't my mattress that's in the park. It's other people that don't understand how dangerous their methods are to the safety of our children in this community. So with a new mayor, with a new council that's elected by district, with our emergency financial manager, with Don Graves from the White House, with Dan Gilbert charging ahead with the Blight Task Force, we're excited about the possibilities. And we believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see some significant strides in the right direction. Every time we or anyone dismantles a house in Detroit, there are costs associated. For instance, you have to spend $1,050 to have the city come out and disconnect the water. You have to spend $720 to have the gas company out and disconnect the gas. You have to pay $264 for a demolition permit. You have to pay $300 for an asbestos test. So, you've already spent $3,000 and you haven't removed a branch or a twig. What Mayor Duggan is looking to do is provide Blight Busters and other groups that want to dismantle property in their target areas, give them the title to the property, have the water, gas, and lights already disconnected, have the asbestos test out of the way, and hand you a permit, which allows you to immediately jump in and either tear that house down or deconstruct it, demolish it, and get that negative energy out of your community. Blight is like a cancer. The longer it festers, the longer you allow it to fester, it spreads and it affects the next home, and the next home, and the next block, and the next block. So blight, we know, has a way of expanding quickly, so you have to contain it quickly. And again, we're so excited to be working with Mayor Duggan on these initiatives that are going to ultimately see Detroit transformed once and for all.
Is it just me, or does it seem a little odd that there'd be an abandoned house where the gas may or may not be on? Doesn't that seem unsafe?
Well, it's very unsafe, and the reality is, in most cities, you don't have 80,000 vacant structures. At this point, I really don't care whose fault it was. What I'm concerned about is how do we fix it? And you're starting to see a lot of people step up and get involved because they now understand the importance of a clean, vibrant Detroit. When you look on a world map, it just says Detroit. It doesn't matter if you're from West Bloomfield, Ann Arbor, Southfield, Ferndale, Royal Oak. Trust me when I tell you, people judge regions and people by the company they keep. It's in everyone's best interest in this region to have a strong, safe, clean central city. And that happens to be Detroit.
Yes, sir.
So as we work together, we can make it better.